guys, this video is going to be a book review of Halting State by Charles Stross, a noted science fiction author of the last several years, who is most known for his series The Laundry Files and the Merchant Princes series. Before this book, I hadn't actually read anything by him, so I was really interested to actually find out what he was all about, because my uncle, who has very similar taste to me, quite liked books by him, so I thought, oh, might as well. But I actually read this particular one first because I'd accidentally bought the sequel to it, and I don't like reading sequels for the first book, so, you know, just the way that goes. Halting State is a near-future science fiction novel set primarily in a Scotland that went independent in 2012. The novel focuses around a robbery at an online gaming company. Wait, sorry, did I say online gaming company? From an online game. Each of our three protagonists, Sergeant Sue Smith of the Edinburgh Police Force, Elaine Barnaby of a London Auditors, and Jack Reed, recently unemployed games developer, end up entangled in the investigation of the crime, and what ensues changes their lives very drastically. I took forever to actually get into this book. It really was quite difficult for me, but when I managed to, it just clicked and I read it in like a couple of days. It was really interesting. It had some really quite fascinating points and things that I like in books. It had hacking, espionage, future technology, and just lots of interesting moral dilemmas as well. I found each of the different characters to be quite a strong, well-defined person in themselves, with very few overlapping personality traits. In particular, I found myself really empathising a lot with Jack, who was funny and clever, but is also a gibbering mess of a person with insecurity. I also felt it was very important that Sue was the character that she was, as she had some really interesting character development and just general plot points, and was just generally tough as nails. Add that to the fact that she was basically the main character out of the three of them, and it's all good, even if the other two characters actually got more action out of the three of them. I found the use of spooks as an espionage tool to be really quite interesting, training unwitting volunteers to actually be espionage agents without knowing that they're doing it under the pretense of a game. It's really quite fascinating and really interesting and intricate the way that it all worked. And because of the use of the Chinese in controlling Team Red, I found it really interesting as a sort of ambiguity. One weakness that I did find with the book was that it devoted a lot of itself to technical jargon, which is fine, but in smaller amounts than this book did go for in some ways, because I like to consider myself a bit up on computers. I know what I'm doing, mostly. I'm a bit of a layman compared to a lot of more advanced people, but I know more than the average person. But I was getting lost in bits and pieces of jargon that just kept on being blocked in entirely, and just felt I did find the implications of the changes in technology to be quite staggering. Medical science was really interesting, because Elaine actually talked at one point about being able to get all her teeth removed if she had the money and everything, which is something I kind of wish that I could do. But they also had like drone taxis, and the biggest change that you could see was in phones and computers, because they were basically glasses and a receiver sort of thing, and it's continued our trends in a lot of ways. I mean, we're already seeing similar things to that in like eyeglasses and Google Glass and stuff. One final thing that I want to bring up is that I found Jack's insecurity about sex to be really kinda stupid. in a lot of ways, because, I'm just going to briefly go over this, he was 14 years old, caught kissing a 15-year-old, and because of the way that the laws worked in the country at the time, they weren't solidified at that point because independence and stuff, they were both decided to be paedophiles because they were both having sexual contact with under 16-year-olds. Do you see where that's wrong? So, because of the way that Jack's brain works, he's built up an insecurity about this. And, like, it affects him in every single way. I just felt that it was utter daftness and kind of stupid. I didn't really find it that good story-wise. It was just silly. It was kind of funny, but it was silly. Overall, I really enjoyed this book, even though it was kind of hard to get into and had some ridiculous moments. It had heart, a lot of interesting points, and most importantly, really good characters that were very well defined and you were able to relate to on a very personal level. The comment question for this video is, what do you think that the future will look like in, say, 15 years' time? Tell me down below, I'd love to know what you think. I hope that you enjoyed this video and that you remember to like and share it and subscribe to my channel. Click on the thumbnails down below to see other videos by me. Bye!